another episode of Pretty Tough Talks with the gorgeous Char, who is the founder of Art by Char. Now let's get started. The first question is, did you realize you had a love for art?
So I kind of like was always creative and doing creative things growing up. I actually went to like a performing arts, like preschool, elementary, and so I was exposed to the arts early. So I think that's when it became a part of me that I just like appreciated all different types of arts. Even like people want to say spoken word is a form of art, but to me it's like it speaks. But it speaks. It tells a story just like a picture would tell a story, or like a painting or a song, kind of. So I think I just grew up with like being exposed to the arts, and so I always was doing something creative. Like I used to do the most on all my little school projects or whatever it was. So then growing up, I just, anything that was like, oh, it's gonna be like an arts and crafts or like a fun this or that, I just was like, okay. Painting kind of, I wouldn't say found me, but like I wasn't always painting. So I only been painting for 3 years now, but I was always like drawing or creating, or like in high school I took pottery and textiles, or just doing anything. Like I'm a hands-on and visual learner too, so I think like that have a lot to do with it. Just anything artsy, I'm there. Like it's that.
All right, how does your work play in society?
Okay, so this is like I said this was deep. But like for me it is deep too, because I always say like with painting, like me and my little paintbrushes are gonna make a big impact. Like, I say that to my friends all the time, because like for me it is a bigger picture, and I only do that because like I'm an artist, so it's like no play on words. But in real life, like I think I have a bigger picture, like what I want to do with my artwork. And so like right now a big thing that I'm looking to do is turn a portion of my gallery into like a non-profit and for-profit, to have a resource for local youth to kind of learn or get exposed to the arts, because they did take the arts out of all our schools around here basically. And when I found that out, I was really like, it hurt me kind of, because being exposed to the arts does so much for like your cognitive, to your emotional well-being, to your mental, like everything. And so like knowing what the kids here already are having to face, and then like something like that is being taken away from them, that made me feel like it was on me, being an artist like from here, to like give it back to the community kind of. So I just want to use like my art or my craft, I think, to show kids here that you have like a story to tell, like your voices and perspectives and everything should be heard, whether you want it to be like through a song, through a picture, or whatever it is. Like you deserve to be heard. Your voice is important, your story is important, and then more than anything, like the environment around us and a lot of other things are like out of our control and understanding, but you don't have to be defined by that. So you don't have to be a product of your environment, but your environment still aids and tells the story of who you are, kind of. So like I think, just like I said, exposing the youth to that.
She's awesome, guys. She is.
Thank you. You're awesome. I think this concept is dope.
Oh, thank you. Okay, do you mind showing us your favorite piece and telling us why it's your favorite?
Yes, I can show you. The only hard thing is this is one of my favorite pieces. Like
okay.
I really don't have a favorite piece. Like at least I haven't created one that's like my absolute favorite one. But like I have, because I have my podcast, so I kind of use that to put some words behind some of my pictures. So like while a picture might not be like my exact favorite one, like it still will have some depth and some real meaning to it. So that's why I'm kind of like, the one that's so deep, or the one that's like my favorite. But I think I got one.
You have one?
Yeah, that one over there.
This one right here?
So this is right now one of my favorite pieces that I did. It has a lot going on. I haven't even started talking about my art specifically on my podcast yet, so y'all get a sneak preview. But this one also, I kind of let my paintings name themselves or tell their own story. So some have names, some don't. This one doesn't. It just has a huge story behind it. So like this girl here is representing like a younger me, and she has on like her footy pajamas that are like, is a unicorn. That represents like unicorn. I always call myself like a unicorn, an alien, all type of stuff, just random, unique kind of things. So that's where this is coming into play. I could just point out some stuff. Like this picture literally has so much going on, so I'm gonna just point out some of like the main things. This like voodoo doll is a tribute to when I went to NOLA last year. I painted this last year actually, so like that was a time in my life where I was really just like still off that vibe from going to New Orleans. It was awesome, great experience, and it inspired some of this painting actually, because I got to go to the galleries down there, so it was cool. All these different numbers, like all everywhere throughout the picture, represent my angel numbers. That again is also a deep story, but if you're familiar with angel numbers, then you hip. So these are some of my numbers that I track and follow. So literally like all in this swirl, it's like all my numbers, different combinations of them. 524, that's my birthday. So that one's a big one up there. This represents Dying Planet, which, you know, that speaks for itself. You got the 810, obviously, because Flintstone. Art by Char, and the graffiti just to complement the brick, which was actually the first time I started practicing with airbrush, because I mixed mediums with my paintings. So this was the first time I actually used my airbrush and mixed it with the acrylic paint. So the brick in the background is all airbrush. And so the graffiti kind of just adds to that style of the urban graffiti brick wall kind of. I would point out like these two things too. This is just like my initials, and you know how like people put in the heart like so and so forever or whatever. Can't relate. So I put my initials and the $sign because, you know, that's supposed to be a thing. And then this is like the Burger King type logo, says Born Hustler. That's been one of my spin-offs since I started creating. So I just put that in there because I believe I'm a born hustler for real. So a lot of different things, like how this says hustle, but then you cross it out and say humble. A lot of different pieces. You have like, this says Black Power over here. My paintbrush is making this wonderful trail of rainbow, which is just vibrant colors more so. And then you got my little pom-pom. But this is really my favorite picture because I think it tells a really deeper story than when you first look at it. It's just so much into it, but literally every piece and every little part of this picture was intentional and has meaning. So that's why I think it's my favorite, because it has so much depth and meaning to it. And I probably didn't even explain it in its full entirety like I want to, but on that note, I'm gonna just tell y'all to check out my podcast so you can get the full story of it.
Yes.